Game consoles have been around for a while. In the 1980s, Atari and Nintendo were the dominant companies in the video game business, and in the early years of the 1990s, Nintendo and Sega were the key players. But the true gaming war didn't begin until Sony entered the market. So, what's the story behind Sony Interactive Entertainment Company? We'll be using our time machine to travel back to the 90s and uncover the history of the Sony Interactive Entertainment Company. So stay tuned. In 1993, Sony and its wholly owned subsidiary Sony Music Entertainment Japan collaborated to form Sony Computer Entertainment Incorporated, or SCEI, with the intention of managing the parent company's forays into the video game business. Japan was the first country to sell the first PlayStation gaming console on December 3, 1994. The company's operations in North America are handled by Sony Computer Entertainment of America, which was initially founded as a part of Sony Electric Publishing in May 1995. In the beginning, Steve Race was in charge of the operations at the North American office, which was situated in Foster City, California. The business operations were reorganized in the months leading up to the launch of the PlayStation in Western markets. In July 1995, all of the video game marketing that Sony ImageSoft had handled was absorbed by SCEA, and the majority of employees who were impacted were transferred from Santa Monica to Foster City. On September 9, 1995, the PlayStation game console was made available for purchase in the United States. Both Sony Computer Entertainment America (SCEA) and Sony Computer Entertainment Europe (SCEE) were re-established as wholly owned subsidiaries of Sony Computer Entertainment International at the beginning of 1997 as part of a worldwide restructuring. The second PlayStation console, the PlayStation 2, was made available for purchase in Japan on March 4, 2000, and in the United States on October 26, 2000. SCEI's initial entry into the market for smaller handheld consoles was the PlayStation Portable, or PSP, which was released in 2006. During SCE's E3 conference in 2003, the company made the initial announcement regarding the development of the product. Then, on May 11, 2004, they presented it in an official capacity during their E3 conference. Japan was the first country in the world to receive a gaming console on December 12, 2004, followed by North America on March 24, 2005, Europe on September 1, 2005, and Australia on September 1, 2005. At the 2006 PlayStation Business Briefing meeting held in Tokyo, Japan, in March 2006, Sony announced the online network that would be included with its upcoming PlayStation 3 or PS3 gaming console. The network was initially going to be called PlayStation Network Platform, but it was shortened to just PlayStation Network. Additionally, Sony promised that the service would constantly be connected, that it would be free, and that it would feature multiplayer interactions. On May 8, 2006, during the Pre-3 E3 conference that was hosted at the Sony Pictures Studio in Los Angeles, California, Hirai made the announcement on the release date of the PlayStation 3. The PlayStation 3 was made available for purchase in Japan on November 11, 2006, while consumers in the United States had to wait until November 17, 2006. The video game developers Evolution Studios and Big Bang Studios, which were responsible for creating the MotorStorm series, were purchased by Sony Computer Entertainment as part of their SCE Worldwide Studios initiative on September 20, 2007. David Reeves, the president and chief executive officer of SCE Europe, made the announcement of his impending departure from his position on April 15, 2009. After beginning his employment with the company in 1995, he was promoted to the position of chairman of SCEE in 2003 and subsequently to the presidency in 2005. Andrew House, who had joined Sony Corporation in 1990, would eventually succeed him as president and CEO of SCEE once he stepped down from those roles. The PSP Go was made available for purchase in North America and Europe on October 1, 2009, while it was made available in Japan on November 1, 2009. On July 2, 2012, Sony Computer Entertainment acquired Gaikai, a cloud-based gaming service. In August of the same year, the Sony Liverpool studio that was responsible for developing the Wipeout and Formula 1 games was shut down. The release date of the PlayStation 4 or PS4 console was announced in a press release that was released on August 20th, 2013. SCEI presented the CUH-1000A series system on that date and indicated that the launch date would be November 15th, 2013 for markets in North America and November 29th, 2013 for markets in Europe, Australasia, and Central and South America. The Chinese government declared in January 2014 that the nation's 14-year ban on game consoles would be lifted, and the PlayStation 4 was scheduled to be the first Sony video game console to be officially and legally released in China since the PlayStation 2. The ban was enacted in 2000 to protect the mental health of young people. On April 2, 2015, it was announced that Sony Computer Entertainment had acquired the intellectual property of the cloud gaming service OnLive, and that its services would cease by the end of the month. So, how did Sony get the name Sony Interactive Entertainment? Let's find out. On January 26, 2016, Sony announced that beginning on April 1, 2016, Sony Computer Entertainment and Sony Network Entertainment International would be reorganized and amalgamated into a new entity called Sony Interactive Entertainment, or SIE. SIE, as opposed to its predecessor SCE, has its headquarters in San Mateo, California, and is responsible for representing the entirety of the PlayStation brand, including its regional subsidiaries and content operations. On March 24, 2016, Sony made the announcement that they were opening a new studio called ForwardWorks. This company would be dedicated to the production of full-fledged games for mobile platforms such as smartphones and will be based on intellectual rights owned by Sony. Multiple news organizations reported in December 2016 that Sony was mulling over the possibility of reorganizing its activities in the United States by combining its television and film business with those of SIE. According to the sources, such a restructuring would have placed Sony Pictures under the leadership of Andrew House, who serves as the CEO of Sony Interactive, although House would not have been responsible for the day-to-day operations of the film studio. According to one report, Sony was set to make a final decision on the possibility of the merger of the TV, film, and gaming businesses by the end of its fiscal year in March of the following year, 2017. This would have occurred in the following year, 2017. The predicted merger never came to fruition. On the 8th of January 2019, Sony stated that the business had entered into a definitive agreement for Sony Interactive Entertainment to acquire Audiokinetic. Sony Interactive Entertainment made the announcement that it had created PlayStation Productions on May 20th, 2019. PlayStation Productions is a production firm that will mine the huge back library of video game titles owned by the businesses for use in film and television productions. On the 19th of August 2019, Sony Interactive Entertainment announced that the company had entered into definitive agreements to acquire Insomniac Games, and later that day, Sony acquired Insomniac Games. The leadership at Sony has been extremely astute in determining the areas of weakness exhibited by its rival companies and in developing its products to capitalize on the network effects that are present in the gaming industry. If you are new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. We wouldn't want you to get stuck in the past without our time machine.